There are around 15,600 nuclear weapons scattered across the world, but even just one of those could likely obliterate the city that you're living in while watching this video. A thought that you may have never come across, however, is how close are you right now at this moment to one of these apocalypses waiting to happen? If you are watching this video right now anywhere south of the equator, South America, Africa, or in any of these other countries, then congratulations. There are no known nuclear weapons inside your country, so there's no need to worry too much. Nuclear weapons, much like polar bears, are known to only inhabit the northern hemisphere. But if instead you are watching this video in any of these countries, then there are in fact nuclear weapons somewhere, and you individually are likely somewhat close to one of them. Here is a map of the estimated locations of every nuke in the world, and each dot could represent up to thousands of different weapons. As you can see, most of them are concentrated in the US, West Europe, Russia, Israel, the Pakistan-India border, and East Asia, but let's zoom into the United States to get a much closer look first. The United States stores her nuclear weapons in these 10 states in these various locations. This storage area on the Pacific coast, for example, is only 18 miles away from Seattle, and this other base is literally located within the city of Albuquerque inside New Mexico and is home to the Kirtland Underground Munitions Maintenance and Storage Complex. That name may not sound familiar, but it is actually the single largest concentration of nuclear weapons anywhere in the world. The size of the facility is incredible, taking up 28,000 square meters located entirely underground with the potential to store over 3,000 bombs inside, or about 19% of all the nuclear weapons in the world. Many of the weapons inside are waiting to be carefully disarmed, and when they are taken out of the base, taken up the road and onto Interstate 40, where they are then driven to a plant here in Amarillo, Texas, where the disarmament actually happens. So if you've ever driven between Amarillo and Albuquerque, then there is a slight chance that you've cut off a truck driver before who happened to be carrying a nuclear bomb inside. Moving up a bit to the north is America's Armed Nuclear Response, a huge area dotted with nuclear silos ready to fire at the order of the President of the United States. There are hundreds of silos scattered across Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, Nebraska, and Colorado. This particular nuclear silo in Colorado is the closest one to a major city, located only 77 miles north of Denver. The only other two places in the US where nukes are stored are on this base in Missouri, located about 55 miles away from Kansas City, and on this naval base in Georgia, located just 32 miles north of Jacksonville, Florida. That's all of the known nukes on this continent, so let's jump over to Europe to take a look over here. The United States is the only country in the world that stores nuclear weapons in other countries, including Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, Italy, and Turkey. These nuclear weapons are stored in these exact locations within those countries, and some are very close to major cities like Rotterdam, Venice, Milan, Cologne, and Brussels. The United Kingdom and France possess nuclear weapons of their own in addition to those by the United States and Europe, and they store their nuclear weapons very near to Glasgow and London in Britain, and near Marseille and central France in the case of France. Over in the Middle East, the only known nuclear positions are those of the United States here in Adana, Turkey, but Israel likely stores their nuclear weapons in positions within the center of their country, all within an hour drive of each other and near to Jerusalem. Back up again to Europe, and Russia is in possession of the most nuclear weapons of any country in the world, but keeps it a very guarded secret of where exactly they are stored. Using a best educated guess acquired from publicly available information, however, and we can estimate that the positions of nuclear weapons within Russia are all over the place, but concentrated nearby several major cities like Moscow, St. Petersburg, Vladivostok, and Saratov. In the case of Saratov, a city with a population of nearly 1 million people, the city is surrounded by a missile division, a strategic bomber base, and a storage facility, together containing over 1,000 nuclear warheads, or 6% of all the nuclear weapons in the world.